So there's been a lot of airline trouble, when they, Southwest Airlines canceling 1,000 flights. They say it's because of weather, but no other airline canceled their flights. But that's been happening over and over and over. There's been a lot of problems. And so Pete Buttigieg, who's the transportation secretary, he went to, here's the irony. He went to fly to have a meeting about this. His flight got canceled.
No.
Yes. The day after Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg met with airline leaders to quiz them about widespread flight disruptions, his own flight was canceled, and he wound up driving from Washington to New York.
Wow. That just happened to me coming back from Fort Worth. My Delta flight got canceled, and then I had to stay in a did he have to stay in the Hilton Inn Suites near the airport?
I know, he just drove. He drove. Here, there's more to this. It says, that is happening to a lot of people, like Kurt Metzger.
Yeah.
And that is exactly why we are paying close attention here to what can be done and how to make sure that the airlines are delivering, Pete Buttigieg told the Associated Press. So let me just reread that and tell you the truth. This is happening to a lot of people. And that is exactly why I'm talking to you today, but I'm telling you I'm going to do something about it, but I'm not going to do anything about it because we don't do anything about problems here unless we're told to by our corporate masters. Do you guys need another $40 billion for Ukraine? What the fuck is Pete Buttigieg going to do about the airlines not having enough workers to staff their planes? I'm going to tell you, nothing. Just like Joe Biden, what did he do about the baby formula? Nothing. What is he doing about people not having a living wage? Nothing. What is he doing about 50% of the country being poor or low income? Nothing. What's he doing about the homelessness problem? Nothing. What is Joe Biden doing about college student debt? Nothing. What's he doing about our overcrowded prisons? Nothing. What's Joe Biden doing about the health insurance problem? And most people who get cancer end up friggin' bankrupt. Nothing. He's raising prices of drugs. He's raising your insurance prices, and he's screwing people on health on the Medicare. They're doing nothing. Tell me how they're different than Trump. Tell me how Joe Biden is substantially different than Trump. He's worse in a lot of ways. I know for sure. I can tell you all the ways he's worse. Buttigieg said he is pushing the airlines to stress test their summer schedule. We're doing a stress test every day. And they're failing. We're already doing the test. They're flying. It's over. Thousands of flights are being canceled every day. Why is that, Pete Buttigieg? That's what they won't tell you. They won't tell you why this is happening. Now, the conspiracy theorists, by the way, who are about 5-0 over COVID, the conspiracy theorists who are right about everything with COVID are saying that this is because people are taking early retirement because they don't want to get vaccinated. And now, as the summer travel ramps up, there's not enough pilots and there's not enough flight attendants and there's not enough ground crew to man these flights.
Oh,
that's what the conspiracy theorists are saying. Now, as I pointed out, they're about 5-0 when it comes to COVID. They've been right about everything, but they're not going to say. Go ahead, Kurt. What
they plan for, like, hey, some people are going to give up their seats. They oversell, like they do, like the hospital beds where there's not enough hospital beds.
That's right.
So now old people now need planes, like they did hospital beds.
So let's see what Politico says. But Buttigieg said his department could take enforcement actions against airlines that fail to live up to consumer protection standards. What? Consumer protection standards? That's not the problem, is it? But first, he said he wants to see whether there are major flight disruptions over the 4th of July holiday weekend and the rest of the. First, I want to see how shitty things get.
Let's wait.
Let's wait and see how shitty it is for the rest of the summer. So let's wait until this big travel surge is over and all the problems happen, and then we'll reassess. Did I tell you he's doing nothing?
What he's saying is even dumber than that. He goes, he wants to see whether there are major flight disruptions.
We know there are.
The 4th of July.
The reason why he's addressing this is because there are major flight disruptions. We don't have to wait and see if there's going to be some. There are some. Your flight got canceled, Pete.
Wait, is Pete saying that the 4th of July is the one day that there's a chance there won't be flight disruptions?
No, no, that's not what he's saying.
There's a possibility.
Enforcement actions can so this is what enforcement actions can result in fines, although they tend to be small. So what he's saying is, if they make you sit on a runway for 8 hours and don't give you a bathroom break or something, we're going to fine them. Hey, if they cancel your flights 5 days in a row, we're going to fine them. That doesn't fix the problem. That's not fixing the problem, and you're not going to fine them. You guys give them frickin' bailout money, and then you find the bailout money you just gave them?
I have a question. Is enforcement actions, does that imply that, like, they know they're going to not do what they should do, but they can choose whether to enforce it or not?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. It's like, we know the airlines are going to screw up, so we're going to do enforcement actions.
Shouldn't they always be doing that?
Yes. That's why none of this makes sense. During Thursday's virtual meeting, airline executives described steps they are taking to avoid a repeat of the Memorial Day weekend when about 2,800 flights were canceled. Now we're going to see how those steps measure up. What? They're already not measuring up. Your own fucking flight got canceled. Travel is back. On Friday, more than 2.4 million people passed through security checkpoints at U.S. airports, coming within about 12,500 of breaking the pandemic-era high record on the Sunday after Thanksgiving last year. Weather is always a wild card when it comes to flying in summer, but airlines have also acknowledged staffing shortages as travel roared back faster than expected from pandemic lows. Airlines are scrambling to hire pilots and other workers to replace employees whom they encouraged to quit after the pandemic hit. So that's what they're saying the problem is. Oh, when the pandemic hit, we encouraged people to retire or quit. And now we got to hire them all back. That's what their story is. Shortages at the federal... Why would they be waiting to hire people back? Why would you be waiting to hire people? That's why that doesn't make sense to me. Why haven't you already hired them back? You're waiting to cancel 3,000 flights before you go, you know what? We don't have enough people. They know they don't have enough people. Why don't they hire more people? Are the conspiracy theorists right? We'll see. Shortages at the Federal Aviation Administration, part of Buttigieg's department, have contributed to flight delays in Florida. Why did those people? What? Why is there a shortage of workers at the FAA? I'm getting mixed messages. The FAA promised. Go ahead, Kurt.
Oh, I'm just surprised. You know, whenever all the flights I take, we need some volunteers to not take this flight.
Yeah.
That's if you actually have a job there, they do this. We need you to volunteer to not come to work anymore. Like,
we need people don't come to work.
One system.
The FAA promises to increase staffing there. The Transportation Security Administration, an agency within the Department of Homeland Security, has created a roving force of 1,000 screeners who can be dispatched to airports where checkpoint lines get too long. What? Hey, I got a long line at the Burbank airport. Could you get some guys in a truck in Orange County, drive them up here, get them here in a few hours after this line is gone?
Jimmy, how soon till self-screening, like how they do it right?
That's right.
Self-checkout. You're going to have to
I'll self-screen.
in your own shoes.
Jimmy, I'm sorry. There's an anomaly on your upper right thigh. I have to pat you down.
You know, at one flight I took, I didn't have to do any of the stupid shoes and take my laptop out because they just didn't have them. For some reason, they didn't have people to work with. Like, maybe drop that crap that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, take your. I know. You go in some lines and they say keep your computer in your bag. Really? Because I've always keep it in.
They're mad. They're mad that you're about to take it out, even though I've been conditioned
to take it
like
out.
An animal to take it out.
So here's a headline from New York Times: United Airlines to fire workers who refuse to get a vaccination. About 600 people out of the really? I have a feeling it's higher than that.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's higher than that. Only 600 people refuse to get a vaccination. American Airlines pilots protest for better schedules. So they just authorized a strike. They're not striking yet, but they authorized a strike. That's how bad things are to work for the frickin' airlines. By the way, I should do that story. The airlines really, you know why your flight sucks so much? Why it's so much of an ordeal? Like flying used to be a bit of a pain, but now it's an ordeal. You know why they don't make it nicer? Because they don't really make any money flying you around. They make money on their credit cards. They make more money on their frequent flyer program credit cards than they do on flying you places. So they're really in the bank card business. They're not really in the flight. They just have airlines so they can get you to buy their credit cards. That's it. I'll cover that story. So with summer around the corner, airlines have struggled to keep up with the demand. And now American Airlines pilots are saying it's time to fix the problem. Hundreds of pilots lined up at Miami International Airport holding picket signs on Wednesday. What if someone tries to cross that picket? They're asking for the airline to make serious changes before the summer travel rush causes even more delays and cancellations. No, they're not. They're going to do a stress test. Pilots picket as airline unions leverage summer travel woes. So I heard Alaska Airlines voted to. That's Southwest Airlines picket out. So it's Southwest. That's in Dallas. They're picketing. So the pilots are. By the way, pilots have a union. Don't you think McDonald's workers should have a union? If pilots have a union, you don't think McDonald's workers should have a union? I think so. So there you go. Why aren't they hiring more people? Anyway, over to you, Kurt. Anything you got to add to this?
Because we got rid of these people. Let's see if we can run it without them and save the money. Is why I think like that's the main thing. It sounds just like the rail thing where they're like, hey, a bunch of you are gonna have to do other people's jobs and about half of you and at your own expense. It sounds like the same nonsense.
It does.
Because they're subsidized as well, aren't they?
The airlines, of course. The airlines have been bailed out twice in the last 20 years, big time.
My grandfather used to be an engineer for Boeing back in the day, and he used to tell me, like, back when I worked there, the airlines made money. That's how long ago it was.
That's how long ago.
Yeah.
Well, that's when it was regulated. When the airlines were regulated, it was better. And then Reagan, and they got rid of the regulations on airlines. And what does it mean? It meant a race to the bottom. Now airline travel sucks. That's what it means. It means smaller seats, no meals, you got to pay for a pillow. It's horrible. And even when you get something like, remember when they came up with JetBlue and Virgin America, they were going to make it nice. Right. It was going to be nice. Mm-hmm. And that lasted for like 5 seconds. And then it was an immediate race. And then somebody else said, no, the corporate board is like, we got to see a quarterly profit, fuckface. And so what did they start cutting, sir? And now they all suck again.
Yeah, right. It's amazing how fast it goes to just skipping the whole game of doing the flying or whatever it is, just right to give me returns on the money I put in this investment.
So yeah.
It's like in Goodfellas, how they helped that guy with his restaurant.
Yes.
That's how all of it works.
Okay. Well, it would be nice if there was actually an airline company that cared about their flights, their quality of their flights, because they don't. Hey, we're doing stand-up dates. Salt Lake City, Las Vegas, Chicago, Sacramento, and then San Diego, where I'm taping my new special. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all the tickets for all our live shows. We're coming to your town, maybe.